Good morning. Today is Monday, June 9th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Zori and Lady Pitbull. Good morning, lady.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, waking up. Mondays are always hard.
Certainly is.
Especially when you forget on Sunday that you have to get up early on Monday and you stay up too late.
That's not a good deal. I went to bed really early last night.
I wish I had of, but oh well, I'm here. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed I'm not, but I'm here.
Good Lord, the self-defense class is messing with my mind because
oh no,
because I'm like having these dreams where I'm in a store. I'm in a store and like it's getting robbed.
I knew it. You're gonna be Lady Rambo.
And one of these days, this shit's gonna get caught on camera if it ever really happens in my presence. So, and it was like, it was weird in my dream because these like three guys were like going, "Yeah, man, let's roll that bitch when she comes outside." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Oh yeah, really?" I was thinking that to myself, and then I like went to the clerk and I'm like, "Man, these guys are gonna jump me when I leave here, man. You better call the cops." And then, so I was hanging around the store, trying to avoid this thing that I overheard, and then, like, two guys left, one guy, like, went and hid in the store, and, I don't know, this is just a freaking dream, you guys. So, and then the clerk went away, and then it was just me and him, and I just started beating his ass.
Well, that's a good dream. Oh my god!
I took a thing of like olives that were on a glass jar and I smashed it up against his head.
Well, at least you know the classes are working.
That's right. That's right. The classes are definitely working. Oh my god! So
you're gonna have to change your name to Rambo Lady Pitbull.
Rambo Pitbull. Crazy, man. Dreams are crazy. I don't know. And then I woke up, and then I'm like, "Oh, I got to do the show." You know.
After my big triumph, that's cool. Yeah, at least you know they're working. It's getting instilled in your head what to do. Like thinking of the olives in a glass jar is a real good idea.
Yeah. You know, I mean, that's like the point is improvised weapons. You know, I mean, everything around you can be used as a weapon in some way. Things where if you're sitting around right now, you can think of. I can see like several things that could be used as a weapon. It's awesome, though.
Yeah. Mine has to be long, though. I'm short arm reach. That's why I don't like knives. Like, people say use a knife or whatever, but I'm small. And, like, all someone would have to do is put their hand on my head and hold me out there, and I could be swinging away like crazy and never touch them.
Well, yes, you would. If someone's holding your head and you have a knife in your hand,
you cut their arm.
You cut their wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, you just take a giant slice, like, vertically.
Oh, that's true. I never thought of
that.
Not
vertically, but yeah, vertically. Bam, right. You don't go across. You go straight up, up the arm to the elbow.
Well, see, your Rambo-ette is already rubbing off on me.
It's just the way you got to think about these things, I guess. You know, it's really good to do it and get it in your muscle memory because, like, we always practice, like, people coming up from behind you and putting a belt around your neck. Yeah. We practice that a lot, and then the trick to that, what happens in that case is all you got to do is simply turn around and face them.
Mm-hmm.
And then start, striking.
Yeah.
And, you just turn around with a belt around your neck. You turn around into it.
Well, that.
And a lot of people don't know
my
that.
Mind, like when I come home late at night or something, I always look around the whole area before I get out of my car because I have a big field. And I always think to myself, okay, and I'm prepared if someone comes out from somewhere, Yeah. And I've always thought like that, and I've always taught my daughter to think like that. I go, never just walk up to your house, because if you have bushes or anything around there, you scope it out first, or but watch your rearview mirror. One time this car was following her, and she drove straight to the police department, because she noticed they were following every time she turned. So, it's good to instill these thoughts in your kids' minds, too, so that they're prepared, too.
I guess when you have somebody that you think is following you, there's a little cardinal rule that you want to stick with, and that's 3 rights. So if you you turn right once, and then the next time, first right that comes along, you turn right again, and then the next time, and if they're still following you, then they're really following you.
I don't know, though. Last night, it was so funny, too. I was in line at the store, and there was a guy in front of me. Okay, he paid. I paid. I walked out, and he walked out, and I walked out behind him. Then he went over to his car that was parked very close to mine. I got mine, both started, backed out, went. We both turned right, but then we went to the signal. We both turned left, and then we're going through down the street, and I can imagine what this guy's thinking. And he turns right onto my street. I turned right onto my street, followed him almost all the way to the end where he turned left, and I turned right into my driveway. But, when I got here, I wonder if he thought I was following him.
Oh, that's kind of funny. That can sometimes happen too.
Yeah. I would have got nervous if he was behind me doing all this same thing.
Right, but that's why the 3 rights work.
Right.
And you never want to go straight to your house, man. If you even suspect someone's following you, never go to your house.
Yeah, I really told my daughter, I go, that was the best thing to do. Even if he wasn't following you, you go, and she went straight to the police department.
That's what you want to do for sure. Absolutely.
Or somewhere, one time there was this guy too. He was sitting in his car and exposing himself to the kids as they were walking home. And my daughter did exactly what I told her to do. You walk up to a house, don't bother knocking. You walk right into that house. And she told them what was going on, and they called the police. Well, the guy got away, but they came and talked to her. The police did, and she described them, and they said, you did the right thing. Don't bother knocking. If you think you're in danger, just go up and go into a house if it's unlocked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you gotta get to where somebody's got communications there, and most people have cell phones nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But
now this is before cell phones. But you got to instill these things into your kids because they're not going to be thinking of that. But they should be not scared, but always aware.
Situational awareness.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important. Very, very. It's actually vital.
Especially with young girls and stuff. There's always that possibility. So always be aware of your surroundings. Never take it for granted.
Yeah, and it will save your life one day.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes with men and women. It's not just women with situational awareness. I mean, you got these wankers that are, walking down the street, and they got the earbuds in their ears, and they're texting, and they're not paying attention to anything, and shit, you go to a college town, and that's all you're seeing,
Right.
And it's a field day, especially if it's being done at night, if they're doing that at night. It's a field day for crooks out there.
Right. So I know the cops, they aren't here to protect us. They always come after the fact, after someone's been murdered or raped or burglarized. They're always there after. So you got to be prepared, people, to take care of yourself. Never depend on law enforcement to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that.
I seen this one thing, and this is really pissing me off because, overreach and into our lives. First the seatbelts, mandatory seatbelts, telling us how we can drive. Now police enforce mandatory dress code along New Jersey Boardwalk. In Wildwood, New Jersey, people who do not dress in a manner that is deemed acceptable by the government are subject to penalties in this New Jersey shore resort town. Now they're telling us how we can dress. Can you imagine that? According,
keep going.
Okay, according to the government, people must cover their feet, must wear shirts after 8 p.m., and must never allow their pants to sag 3 inches below their waistline while walking on the popular Wildwood Boardwalk. Fashion cops are prepared to stop pedestrians and issue them tickets for inappropriate or incorrectly worn clothes. Penalties include fines ranging from $25 to $200. Violators may also be sentenced up to 40 hours community service. Now, on a boardwalk, on the beach, you have to put on a shirt, and this is ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're not. It didn't sound like that they're targeting women with like tiny little bikini tops on.
Oh no, but no, that would be inappropriate. They want. It goes on. Mayor Ernest Triano Jr. defended the dress code, saying that it adds a little bit of decency to our town. The boardwalk provides access to the beach and numerous tourist attractions, and it is common for people to wear beach attire. This is the second summer the law has been in effect. Now, I never heard of this before. Other New Jersey towns also empower police to enforce morality and modesty upon pedestrians. Now, who's to decide, what's morally? I don't know. When I get dressed, I don't think of morality or, modesty. I don't know how many people do, but...
Well, apparently the government there does.
Yeah, what's next?
Nazis.
Telling us what to wear, let's see. Okay, it goes on. Cape May, New Jersey requires no person, either male or female, shall be attired in a bathing suit, trunks, or other than usual dress on any public street or in any public place after 7 p.m. and prior to 7 a.m. With reference to the boardwalk or promenade, usually dress includes appropriate footwear. In Ocean City, New Jersey, the law states it shall be unlawful for any person to travel in or upon any of the streets, alleys, or public boardwalk of the city in abbreviated bathing robes, suits, or other costumes of a similar nature unless a suitable robe or covering from the shoulders to the knees shall be worn over the abbreviated robes or suits to properly cover the person from public view. Such efforts to dictate attire perfectly exemplify the nanny state mentality. While others people's habits and fashions may annoy us, freedom-loving people should never turn to the government to dictate personal choices that harm no one. Police are not our parents. Man, that says so much right there. To how far people will let the government, and decide make their personal decisions for them.
Well, yeah, and anybody who, anybody who doesn't go to if those people don't go to that local city council meeting, the next one that comes up and says something about this, they're a bunch of sheep. They're a bunch of sheep, and they deserve to be, fined. I mean, how are you going to have, a bunch of freaking, Nazis, come off with this dress code? Come on. It's just,
And on the beach.
Right. Right. Today, low-hanging pants. Tomorrow, bikinis. Tomorrow, swimwear. Tomorrow, you'll have to freaking go. You know what I mean? It's just retarded. And
you're going to be in uniforms before you know it.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. They're going to have, military on the street next. What's next?
Right. Where they're going to dictate what we can eat on the street. We can only have one snack. If they see us having two, we'll be fined. This just goes beyond, And what's the age limit? What if a little girl or boy are in their swimming attire walking up on the boardwalk, at 12 noon, is that enforceable then? It's crazy.
Right. It's just another form of revenue generation. It just seems like this guy is some ex-high school principal or some bullshit. Get the hell, pull your head out of your ass.
Take care of your own and leave everyone else to themselves. Yeah. This is not, there are no victims here. So what is their trip? What if, who's deciding what is appropriate too?
Right, and if they start, that's a good point in the chat, Mike. Hi, Mike. He's in the chat right now. He said maybe nobody should patronize that New England town of prudes, and he's exactly freaking right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But is this going to spread to other boardwalks? Almost every ocean, every
Not if
beach
it gets
town
stopped
has.
right where it starts, it won't
Yeah.
spread, and people need to be doing that. Like I said, they need to go to their local town councils and scream bloody murder about this crap. And it's ridiculous, and and that's the thing. If people if they're interested in keeping like any kind of tourism at all going in that little town, maybe they don't give a crap about tourists. But if there's a tourist there and they get cited for something so stupid, then,
right.
They're not coming back, dude. No one.
Especially if you give them 40 hours of community service and they don't live there.
Oh man, I mean, how? Yeah, man. If it's like that for just a dress code, then what's it like for like a murder or something like that, dude? Are you kidding me?
It's crazy.
I don't know. People are absolutely these power tripping politicians, and that's just a local low level power tripping asshole, right?
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they passed the ordinance. I'm sure it's an ordinance. It couldn't be a law, but they passed the ordinance. People gotta, like you said, they have to get up and stand up for themselves. I mean, this is just so wrong on so many levels. And, it's like book burning or banning. Who is making the decisions for you? I don't know. It's just...
Absolutely. Yeah, no one's going to tell me what to wear and what not to wear. And that's all there is to it. I mean, if you don't like the dude with the little kids with their pants hanging down to their knees, then walk up to him and go, do you really know what that means, man?
Yeah, you don't need law enforcement to do it.
No, you don't need law enforcement to do it. And, I mean, like I said, did you hear any skimpy bathing suits in that whole thing?
No, except for the fact that they have to be covered with a robe from the shoulders to the knees.
Oh, what? See, I think I missed that bit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you're wearing a bathing suit. And you want to be up on the boardwalk, you have to have a robe on or something that covers you from your shoulders to your knees that can't be seen through.
Wow, this guy must be like a, I don't know, ultra...
Yeah, and it had to have passed, this city council for an ordinance like this.
Maybe the sucker's a Muslim up there.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can order everybody to wear hijabs and stuff.
Right.
the head covers. Damn. Yep. I don't know. If I was in that town, I'd be raising hell. Seriously. It would be... one time we thought that there was a pit bull ordinance that was going to go up here in the village where I'm at. And we, were at the next city council meeting. We were all ready with our arguments, and we were ready to pounce, and they were like, no. You've got it wrong. This is all breeds. Oh, okay. I guess if your dog is caught 3 times, running loose.
In the streets.
Yeah. And that's a reasonable ordinance. Yeah. That's reasonable. There's a main thoroughfare going right down through the street, and I've seen this dog that is loose all the time, and it's running, and then semis are coming through, and it's a bad deal. That someone should smack the heck out of that guy for letting his dog run loose all the time.
And then that makes sense. But these people, and like I said, who makes the decision of what is appropriate and what isn't? Is it the cop that's walking the boardwalk or anywhere else around there? It's just, I don't know. It's just, it irritated me. I don't want no one telling me how to dress.
Well, especially you don't want to walk down the street and get freaking, what is it, a $200 fine? How much was it?
Yeah, 200 can be up to a $200 fine and or 40 hours community service.
What constitutes that fine? I mean,
Because you're breaking an ordinance, I guess.
is it? Well, I mean, like I guess it said up to, so that means it can be
Less, yeah.
yeah, it could be less. So who?
And it comes in the
make
form
that
of a
decision?
ticket.
Which is so it's the cop's discretion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if he's a prude and you're not dressed, you know, in a suit or something, I don't know.
Guarantee you, if he's given some hot wench a ticket, right? He's not going to be a prude about it. But it's just,
You know, it's like that New York annoyance.
right? Knowing the
kind of
cop.
bad.
Who's
Yeah.
to define that? Yeah.
Right, and so I guess it's up to the cop to decide who is dressed appropriately and who is not. I would have a shit fit if a cop came up and wanted to give me a ticket for my attire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and oh, you start an argument with the dude? Okay, they're gonna put the clamp down on you, right?
I'm resisting arrest.
You know what I mean? The shit just escalates. So why put confrontation out in the streets to begin with?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just seems like, okay, the mayor's setting up his boys to meet some women. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sort of, huh?
You know what I mean? I mean, it could be like a backdoor thing. This guy is...
Okay,
like,
well, what if you don't have a robe to put on? Do you get taken into custody?
exactly.
Or, well, I guess...
They'll gladly take whatever wench in custody. You know what I mean? I mean, especially if they're drunk or whatever. I mean, beaches are where you go to hang out and party and have fun and, you know, I mean, go swimming. I don't know. It's ridiculous. I mean, and all the little kids, are they expected to, like, wear robes and stuff? I mean, come on.
I didn't have an age limit, so I don't know.
Right. I mean, what if there's, like, a little tiny, like, 3-year-old girl and she doesn't have her top on because she doesn't need a top on? Are they going to fine her for that? You know what I mean? They're going to
it can go out of control.
Right. Where's the limit here, assholes?
Right. And what could happen to you is what happened to this Indiana woman, stripped by jailers and left naked in her cell for 7 hours, and it was on a misdemeanor.
That happened a long time ago, didn't it?
No, this was June 7th, 2014.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Days ago?
Yeah.
Now, I remember there was a long time ago where somebody else had this done.
Yeah, they did that to that woman that they stripped her. Well, and two, again, the same thing. I'm looking at the picture, and there's a male policeman helping to take her clothes off of her.
What?
Yes. There's one male and 2 female officers and another male standing over to the side. And they strip her naked without anything. It says, New Albany, Indiana, a mother of 4, that while she was in police custody for a misdemeanor, she was stripped naked by deputies, pepper sprayed, and left naked in a cell for nearly 7 hours. And their police chief said they did everything right, that they didn't do anything wrong. This is happening more and more and more. This is ridiculous.
That's what they always say, though, isn't it? I mean, really, like our men never did anything wrong, and they killed some dude in cold.
And that wasn't enough. After they stripped her, they marched her through booking where everybody could see and other officers could see while she was naked to take her to the padded cell and leave her in there. This is,
jeez.
Yeah, this is so appalling and disgusting. I mean, you know, okay, if they strip you naked, which they do sometimes for a suicide watch, and they put you in a padded cell, but having men help take off all her clothes and to march her through booking naked, this is, where's the decency?
There is no decency.
Right, and for a misdemeanor. You know, I mean, how far do we allow them to go?
Yeah, exactly. But when you're... Now, see, that's different, because when you're in their custody, you know what I mean? They're thinking that the sky is the limit, and they can do whatever the hell they want. And if they get away with this, they basically can do whatever the hell they want in there. once you're in their custody.
Yeah, and it says Gentry appeared to be intoxicated did not answer questions to the satisfaction of the deputies in an effort to produce submission through humiliation, as attorney Laura Landenwich described. The jailers then searched her and paraded her around in front of other deputies and left her nude in a room with no covering for the rest of the night. And this is all caught on surveillance film. Now, it's just wrong. And this is becoming so often, and they're saying this is okay, that the officers did nothing wrong.
Well, that's, it's just kind of like the government claiming national security. Oh, our guys did nothing wrong. Oh, it's in the interest of national security. There's nothing to see here anymore. So this is they're doing this in every single department that has an issue with their guys. This is what. We didn't find any wrongdoing. Sorry.
Right. Leave your house destroyed and stuff. It goes on. It goes almost immediately upon entering the jail. She's assaulted by 4 officers. They grab her around the neck. They grab her body, Lindenwich said to WDRB. They hold her down, Lindenwich continued. There are 2 male officers and 2 female officers, and they forcibly remove her pants, shoes, her underwear, and her shirt and bra. Miss Gentry was then hauled off to the padded room. Video shows she was pulled through a large open area in front of other officers and then locked in solitary confinement. The lawyer explained, terrified and humiliated, she's banging on the door asking someone to give her clothes. And someone comes to the door and says, if you don't shut up, I'm going to pepper spray you. And sure enough, they open the door, sprayed pepper spray into the room, and they leave. And they leave her in there for 40 minutes naked in a cell filled with pepper spray. Okay, after 40 minutes of suffering the effects of caustic chemicals in her eyes and on her body, she was finally handcuffed and taken to wash out her eyes. Again, her naked body was exposed to others. They took her back through the big area where everyone could see her. She, she has a blanket draped over her shoulders. She's paraded through the booking area in full view of anyone who happened to be in there. After washing, she was again thrown naked into solitary confinement for an additional 5 hours. The woman sat in jail nude from 4:14 a.m. until 10:58 a.m., the video confirms. She intends to sue, but it says the Floyd County Sheriff Darrell Mills said he does not believe jail policies or procedures were violated. So you can fill a room full of pepper spray on someone?
Yeah, it burns. I mean,
yeah,
it burns like hell. And she didn't have any barrier.
No protection at all.
That's messed up. I mean, at first I was thinking, okay, well, they're going to put her in a padded cell. You know what I mean? It just, why not just keep her in there? Okay, so you remove the bra. Okay, fine. In case she hangs herself with her bra. Right. You know what I mean? That's a bunch of bullshit, too, in a padded cell. But
she wasn't suicidal, though, either.
Right. It's just, I know. So it's stupid. I mean, these guys ought to get their asses sued. And, I mean, but was she all belligerent? Was she all, you know what I mean? She was
even if she was.
Right.
That's reason to strip her naked, and especially having strange men stripping you.
Dude, I could just see them. I mean, for sure there's cameras in every single one of these cells. They were just sitting there, I'm sure, just laughing at the monitor the entire time.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, this has got to stop. When are people going to get angry enough? That could be you or I next time.
Yeah, that's where this is all going, though. They're gonna freaking strip us all, put us all into a fever camp.
You're not dressed appropriately at the beach, and then you end up like this.
Right, exactly. They're getting us used to being in this state of emergency mindset.
Yep, fear, 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 fear. My friend and I were just talking about that the other night. I go, I keep telling people, you should be afraid even to go to the store. You might not make it home for one thing, or you might end up in this situation. Here, it's all according to the cop's mood or whatever. I mean, it's just like that one guy who rolled through that stop sign who went through 14 hours of anal exams.
Yeah.
So, and he just was going to the store. I'm sure that was the last thing he thought was going to happen to him when he went to the store.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, you just, you got to be ready for anything. You know what I mean? And to verbally de-escalate with an officer is probably your best bet. You know what I mean?
Get out of his presence as quickly as you can.
You don't really want to be all, bitch, I'ma fuck you! kind of
and
shit.
You don't want to get chummy with them and talk with them
No.
and try and act like a human being.
Because a lot of times that pisses them off too.
Well, not only that, but then you're in their memory, and next time they see you, it'll be bugging them. Where have I seen that person? Where have I seen that person? Because you've allowed, you've been with him long enough, just long enough to be in his memory, but not hold the circumstance.
Right, right.
And I've always said, get away from them as soon as possible so they don't really have time to get you hooked into their memory as to, hey, I seen, wow, and if they're in a mood to pull someone over, they'll pull you over just because.
Oh, yeah. If they're in a mood, they'll create the problem that they're having with you. They'll create it. And it just seems like this happens all the time. Now, SLC, Mike, he said, how many videos do you see of cops stripping males and leaving them naked? That happens all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we don't hear about that, though, because why wouldn't you think a male would get, humiliated, too?
Right, yeah, that's just as wrong.
But then, too, you know what? I doubt if it happens that much with men. I really do. I think it's
I don't know. I think they do that all the time.
Wow. I don't want to find out.
I mean, when they put you in that they strap you in that chair.
Oh, and take your blood.
Yeah, and forcibly take your blood. I mean, I don't know, man. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Just about, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you're once you get arrested, once you are, being detained, then your best bet is to just don't say anything.
Try and get out of it alive.
Yeah, I mean, and just shut the hell up, really. Don't say anything, don't sign anything. Those are the two most important things that you could possibly do if you are really getting arrested.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. We're falling in deeper and deeper and deeper, and I've still been trying to find out, like, exactly, it's not that hard, I just haven't had time, but the difference between what qualifies something as a law, what qualifies as an infraction, how legal are ordinances, because that's how they get us most of the time, is ordinances or fractions or, instead of really breaking the law, they make things up in their head and what?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it happens.
And that thing on the boardwalk, I'm pretty sure that's an ordinance. They didn't exactly say, but I would think that's an ordinance.
Oh, yeah, that's a city ordinance, sure.
Yeah. And I don't know, I watch my city council pretty close, and I never see them bringing up ordinances, but yet I see them posted everywhere. If you park here, it's against ordinance this and ordinance that. But
well, you got to go to every single city council meeting in order to pay attention to everything all the ordinances that will be passed, like, from then on. You know what I mean? You got to really pay attention. I mean, there are some people that go there and do city council watch.
Oh, yeah, we have them.
that's a pretty important thing to do in your communities, and maybe that's the reason why you don't see a whole lot of ordinances coming out of your personal area. There is because there's those watches and people stand up and
Chad
this is what they're trying to do, man. Let's stop this.
Our guy Chad goes to every single meeting. He watches it that, they're supposed to put even emergency meetings up for so many hours to the public and everything. If he sees something coming down, he makes a call. And as many people as can go right down there. So that's really good. Plus, all of our city council meetings are transcript and videoed. And you can go right on the site and watch what happened yesterday at the last meeting or
good.
So and people need to do that. Take that hour and watch what happened, because then you can go in, you have time to go in and make them change their mind or whatever.
Well,
but
not a lot of people are paying attention to what their city councils are doing. You know what I mean? They're just too busy wrapped up in their lives, and
I think more are now. A lot more are now,
because that's it's you got to know what the hell's going on in your area, people. Mm-hmm. My best friend is running for treasurer.
Yeah, that's what you said. Cool.
Yeah, and so she's really going to know what the hell's going on, and it's just that's what it's going to take. I mean, it's gonna if you like the people in that beach area. How in the hell did they even allow it to get to a vote?
Yeah.
Within the city, unless the city was like, "Hey, we're going to do this right now. Let's vote right now." Bam.
Well, even if they do, you can go in and get enough signatures, like we did here when they tried to change the growing cannabis laws to where you had to build a $12,000 structure in order to grow it. Well, the planning committee said they didn't recommend it. Usually city council goes along with what they say. Well, they didn't this time. They tried passing it. Well, we got enough signatures to get it on the ballot, and so now that is null and void until then. So we're back to the way it was. So, that's one of the main reasons people got to pay attention.
Exactly.
Even if your city council passes something that the majority disagree with, you do have avenues to change it.
Yeah, that's right, and that's important to know, and that's definitely important to get out there. There's definitely avenues around this stuff. They can go in and change that beach thing, and if enough people get tickets and get pissed off, it will be changed.
Yeah, but will they? They'll just go, oh, I didn't know. And I'm sure they give them warnings the first time. But what gets me is how about a tourist that doesn't even know this ordinance exists, but ignorant.
Right. That's where a lot of things happen, is people that have no idea about these stupid ass laws that are on the books. You're going through the city or town or whatever, and you spit on the sidewalk, and then, a cop jumps out from behind the bushes. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Yeah, but what about when the law doesn't know the law?
Right. Well, it's the same thing here in Brighton, Michigan, where they passed that ordinance of swearing. The same shit. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You remember that when we read that?
Yeah, and who's to decide what is swearing and what isn't? Because
right.
Yeah.
You got the tourists going through there, whatever, on their way up north, and, oh, shit,
you're jail.
And bam, the cop jumps out from behind the frickin' bush.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man.
It is. It's just getting... It's just getting bad.
Yeah, it's getting... and people need to put their foot down and say no to fascism.
Right. And then these people, these do-gooders, they think, oh, well, this nice Christian family walking down the boardwalk, well, they're all for this, cover your bodies.
Yes.
Be ashamed.
Well, and I respect their opinion about that. I respect that, absolutely. Right. I do. I mean, if...
Then, don't look.
but you cannot impose that mindset on everyone else. It's just it's the same thing with the Muslims and the women in the hijabs. You know, you cannot impose that on American women. You're just not going to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's.
I mean, where's the word freedom fit in here?
But yeah, where is the freedom? I agree with that.
Yeah. Anyway, that just pissed me off. That woke me up. It only takes some article that really pisses me off to wake me up. Now I'm wide awake.
Well, there you go. Better than times, huh?
Yeah. And then here's another one now. DEA blackmailed doctors with ties to medical marijuana reports.
Those bastards.
Yep. It says the Drug Enforcement Administration allegedly threatened doctors associated with medical marijuana dispensaries in Massachusetts, of course, telling them they would lose their federal license to dispense medications unless they severed ties with marijuana companies. Now, how can they do that when it's legal there? Medical marijuana is legal. Well, how are you supposed to get it if you don't get it from a doctor?
Oh, wow. Did you hear what that just said?
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, really.
No, that's what I just said. I mean, how are you...
No, I mean the article.
Oh.
Hear what that article just freaking said? Do you realize just within that first paragraph the implications of that?
Mm-hmm.
It's the... All right. Go ahead. Keep going, and I'll save this for a minute.
Okay. At least 3 doctors told the Boston Globe that DEA agents visited their homes or offices with ultimatums. They allege visits highlighted tension between federal law, which prohibits the use of marijuana, and various state laws that have allowed sale and use of medical and non-medical marijuana. Massachusetts voters agreed to allow medical use of marijuana in the state in 2012. Dr. Samuel Mazza on the board of medical marijuana dispensary told the Globe that he found multiple messages on his answering machine and a DEA business card on his home door upon returning from vacation. You either give up your DEA license or give up your position on the board, or you challenge it in court, Mazza's chief executive of Debilitating Medical Conditions Treatment Centers said DEA investigator Greg Kelly told him upon making contact. Mazza's Debilitating Medical Condition Treatment Center was one of the first 20 dispensaries to receive preliminary state approval to open a medical marijuana firm. He relinquished his prescription license since. He said it wasn't required for his part-time job conducting surgery at a Veterans Affairs hospital. Yet the Globe found 2 other doctors that had given up their positions on boards of medical marijuana operations. So you know they're replacing these guys with people that are against it.
Well, there's something more going on here than just that. You said that they're losing their licenses to prescribe regular pharmaceutical prescriptions, though, right?
Right. Yep.
Right. That's where it is, right? So, who is behind this then?
The feds, the DEA.
Nope. Who's behind them? They're just the DEA right there is just the enforcement arm of the greater picture you got to be seeing here. So they're going in there into Massachusetts, right? And they are strong-arming these docs against prescribing medical marijuana, or you will not be allowed to write regular prescriptions. It's the pharmaceutical companies that's behind this shit.
But then the doctors wouldn't be able to prescribe their pills either.
What do you mean?
Well, if the pharmaceutical company want these doctors to hand out pills, well, they can't do it if they don't have a license to hand them out.
Right, but they don't care because what they're trying to do is they're trying to eliminate the medical marijuana out there because they know that it works better than anything that they can ever produce in an entire lifetime of existence of a giant pharmaceutical corporation. So what my point is it's like what the feds are trying to do with the guns. See, they're saying, okay, well, the banks won't do business with you if you're a gun seller, right? And the pharmaceutical companies are coming in. Well, if you're also prescribing medical marijuana, then we won't allow you to prescribe our pills. And that is what they're doing. Do you see that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And well, that too. I mean, they're trying to pass the House already that bans the DEA from attacking medical marijuana facilities in their state if it's legal in their state. Now, it already passed the House and it has to go through the Senate. But if it does, that will stop all this. But whether it'll do it or not, I don't know.
I personally don't think it's going to stop shit because the DEA is getting backed financially, obviously, by the pharmaceutical industry on this. And they're losing their grip, and they're freaking the hell out right now, these big pharma companies.
But then 2 cities are getting angry, too, though, because those dispensaries are bringing in a lot of money to these cities that are really, really hurting.
Well, absolutely. Since Michigan has instituted the medical marijuana, just on the fees of the license fees alone, have put Michigan into a surplus in their budget. I mean, it's elementary, really.
So, it's according to, everyone get a hold of your senator. You want this to pass. That you're sick of the federal government coming in and arresting people that are in the state doing legally, making a living legally, and then have them come in and shut them down. People need to get a hold of their senators because it's got to pass the Senate now.
It's interesting. I went to a pot doctor here in Michigan, and his brother just happens to be a pot lawyer. So it's who's actually won cases, medical marijuana cases in federal court.
I get my script from a doctor who's been doing. He's one of the few that's still out there that hasn't, stopped. I mean, he's been in business like 5 years now, I think.
But to go after the doctors is just like that whole gun thing. I mean, I got that whole thing that I spewed out just now, just in that first little paragraph that you read. And that just screamed to me that the bigger picture there, what's really happening here. They're trying to use all these avenues to
stop what is going to happen.
Stop what's inevitable. And what's inevitable is that marijuana will be it'll just be legalized. And like I've said this on air before, man, and I know I've said it. Some old militia guy told me once that once this marijuana gets legal throughout the country, that's when all the shit's gonna hit the fan. So be prepared. And I somehow kind of think he's somewhat right about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that doctors got their licenses to disperse prescription medication from the DEA. I didn't know that.
No, they don't get it.
Yeah. Well, that's what this says. It said right there. It said, let's see. Visited their homes with ultimatums. The alleged visits highlight tension between federal law, which prohibits the use of marijuana, and various state laws that have allowed sales and use of medical marijuana and non-medical marijuana that the voters agreed on. You either give up your DEA license or give up your position on the board.
Wow. Give up your DEA license. Maybe it's maybe that means I wish that needs to be clarified. Maybe it's a DEA license to prescribe medical marijuana, but he's not changing marijuana hands. He's just writing a damn piece of paper so they can go get the medical marijuana. There's no marijuana being exchanged there. So I don't understand why the DEA's got their big freaking nose in here in the first place.
Well, because they're connected to the dispensaries, because they write the script and then they take the script to the dispensary and they want to stop it from there. And it couldn't be a DEA license to write prescriptions for marijuana because it's against the federal law. So they must get their license to write prescriptions for pharmaceuticals also from the DEA.
Right. I don't know. I don't know about that. That needs to get clarified because I can't even say it. And the thing is that it doesn't work like that here in Michigan. That's why I'm confused. You go to a doctor once a year.
Mm-hmm, that's good to hear.
Yeah, but I don't have to go to my doctor every time I go to the dispensary.
No, you don't. But see, you have to have your card that says you do have a prescription. Right. From a doctor to go in there. He doesn't really write. Well, yeah, he does in a way because here he writes how many, like if you're growing, how many plants you can grow, but he doesn't state how much you can buy at a dispensary.
No, that
like
can't
a regular
be right
doctor
either.
Writes.
That's not right either because
That's how it's here.
I don't know, man. They must have some screwed ass laws up there in Massachusetts about it because that is just all wrong. That's not. I mean, we have a set amount of plants that any one caregiver can grow for a patient. It's not like the doc says, "Hey, man, I'm going to write you a prescription for. You can only grow 3 plants here," and you know what I mean. That doesn't sound right either.
Oh well, here they're the minimum is 12 plants and at different stages, so that you always have some budding.
Right.
And all the doctor does is he checks you over, finds out that your symptoms are legit, then he gives you your script. Now, he's done with it there, except for like some growers, they're allowed to grow up to 99 plants because they grow for other people. They the people have to have their scripts, and he has to have a script as a grower. Because if somebody lives in their apartment, they can't grow 12 plants, okay? So they have a grower grow their 12 plants for them. And in that case, the grower can grow up to 99 plants.
Right.
Yeah. But, and that's, so what it is like the doctor can, decide whether you're grower or you're just a person that's going to be able to, with that script, I'm allowed to grow 12 plants if I have the right place to grow them at different stages all the way up, or if I didn't, I could get a grower to grow my 12 plants.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how it goes here. But I mean, once the doctor writes the script, I don't have to go back every time I want to go to the dispensary or whatever. It's once a year. It has to be redone.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Different states, I think, are different because, like Colorado, isn't the state providing the pot to the dispensaries because you can only buy it through state-run dispensaries, right?
That I don't know because it's all legal now. I think it's a free-for-all, isn't it?
I don't know. I think it's state because they were said the states were so they could make sure it was okay. But here, dispensaries are private-owned. But I was pretty sure that it was the dispensaries that were state-run.
Well, I don't. You probably have to have a license, to be a major grower. But I'm sure you could have 3 or 4 plants on your deck. You know what I mean? In Colorado, I mean.
Yeah, they're trying to stop that here. I mean, that's what this big thing was with the ordinance. They wanted no more outdoor growing, and this is in the unincorporated area and no outside growing. And they wanted you to have to build this building with such specs to it that it would cost over $12,000 for each person. And then if you don't have any place to put the building, then it was just wrong in all things, and that's why it's going on. People stood up. Now, why can't people stand up for other things?
Right.
That are atrocious.
I wish we had control of the phones because I could have my friend Couch call in, but we don't have the phone, so that's pretty much. I don't know. He would know a lot of the answers to the questions that we're talking about right now. So he studies this stuff. So it's pretty moot point there at this point because we don't have phones. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of confused at that whole Massachusetts thing. So, but just the fact that the DEA is going in there and trying to strong arm doctors, that's over the line right there.
Mm-hmm. Threatening them.
I don't think they're going to get away with it.
Well, it said already 3 doctors have already given up their license, because they did the medical marijuana as a side job. And the other one of them works in the surgery unit at the Veterans Affairs Hospital, so he doesn't need to write prescriptions. And forget the doctor who asked the Globe that he stay anonymous, told the newspaper that he was offered the same ultimatum by the DEA agent. The gist was to get me to either relinquish my DEA license if I insisted on continuing with the dispensary or give the license up temporarily while involved with the dispensary. And what I don't understand how the feds can have the authority to do this, for one thing. But and then it goes, medical marijuana dispensaries in Massachusetts are not required to have doctors on their executive boards, yet many applicants for state approval do so to increase their chances of getting a license in what is highly competitive process. Maybe, okay, the state, they're talking about the state's board.
Right.
So
it's not the DEA, it's a state license, which is how we do it here.
Well, approval to do so increase chances of getting it. But the feds, this would not make no sense at all. It's against federal law. So how can they give a license to break the law?
Exactly. So that article seems like it's a bit lacking, perhaps, in its research because none of that made any freaking sense at all, did it?
Yeah, it doesn't at all.
No.
This is trippy. I'm going to follow this one.
Well,
and see what happens.
The doctors have to go and get approved through the state. Absolutely, that actually happened. So they're probably saying that you have to give up your license, your medical marijuana license to prescribe, licenses to get pot. That's probably what they mean. I have a feeling that the guy who wrote that article misspoke there, or mistyped, or whatever the hell he did.
Yeah, but it was repeated like 3 times.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
DEA license. Well, I don't know. That should get looked into.
Yeah. Because, they do make up laws as they go along, or who knows, maybe Obama gave an executive order for it to be so. Who knows?
Oh, God. And they just make up their own freaking rules as they go anyways, so I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're just trying to attack it on every means, but I don't know. The states that are doing well now economically because of this, I don't see them giving it up easy.
Nope.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like the pharmaceutical companies are behind this whole thing, this whole push.
Well, I'm sure they're involved.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So where do we go now?
I don't know. I'll let you handle it this time.
Well, let's see. There's a bunch of crap going on about all these illegal immigrants pouring.
Oh,
I guess they have allowed the gates to come up, and now they're all just pouring the hell in.
And they're minors. Almost all of them are minors.
Yeah,
children.
they're allowing. Man, I think it's just a. Oh, here we go. I'm going to just read this. 2 weeks ago, the Obama administration was poised again to take executive action in an election year to ease Oh, I didn't know that. Did you people know that? That he wrote an executive order to ease deportations of undocumented immigrants. I didn't know he did that. Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize he wrote another one of those. Today, that plan may be increasingly fraught with complications. Wow, do you think? In recent weeks, a tide of young, unaccompanied minors crossing the Texas border illegally has pushed the U.S. immigration system to its breaking point. Unable to cope with the volume of children crossing the border without their parents, immigration authorities have had to find emergency solutions, such as housing thousands in a San Antonio Air Force base. They shipped a bunch of them on a bus to Phoenix too. I knew about this, but I didn't realize it was because of an executive order that Obama executed. I had no idea. They also went to a California Navy base and a makeshift detention center in Nogales, Arizona. Nogales, Arizona, actually is what it is. Oh man, my flash just crashed. Damn it! The Associated Press reported that the Nogales warehouse was running out of supplies. Damn, my whole freaking computer just froze. You bastard. I can't scroll to read more of this article. Alright, so I'm stuck here dead in the water.
Okay, let me see. I think I have the article here.
It's Nogales. Nogales, Arizona.
Okay.
Damn, this computer. It's all frozen.
Okay, it says here, federal officials were scrambling at the weekend to provide medical and other supplies to an emergency shelter in Arizona to help house a surge of illegal children immigrants into the country that President Barack Obama has called an urgent humanitarian situation. More than 750 children from Central America spent the weekend in an unused warehouse in Nogales, Arizona, which the Border Patrol Agency has turned into a temporary way station for children, a state official said. The impoverished shelter is one of the byproducts of a jump in illegal immigration from Central America this year, including 47,000 children who entered the country on their own, almost double the number from the year before. The difficulties in coping with such large numbers of unaccompanied children are stoking the already torturous debates about reforming the country's immigration system. Are the parents just sending these kids?
Well, I think there's something to do in the executive order, and I haven't read that executive order. I don't know, but it has to be. There's got to be something that he wrote in there that is prompting this to happen, because
that minors won't be deported, probably.
Something like that. Something, I don't know. I've not read it. So,
okay, here it goes on. It goes, the reason for the massive influx of illegal crossings and the cost to taxpayers for having to deal with the crisis created by the president. Although the overall trend of illegal immigration has dropped in recent years, the authorities have been overwhelmed in recent months by the surge of children trying to cross the border. The federal government is establishing facilities at military bases in Texas and California to help house the children while their cases are being examined. The administration estimates that the influx of immigration children could cost the federal government $2.28 billion this year. The children that are arriving are a particularly vulnerable group. Alejandro Alaska's Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security said last week they have often survived a hazardous journey to have arrived here. I still don't see. I'm looking for what he did to that would allow this. Let's see. The Home Domestic Policy Council said that some of the influx may have been caused by a false rumor in some countries that children would be allowed to stay in the U.S. That is it.
So it's just a false rumor spread by who knows who.
Yeah, and it goes, illegal immigrants caught by Border Patrol are often sent back if they are from Mexico. However, that is not the case for people from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, where many of this year's influx came from. So it's not the Mexicans, it's people coming in down through there because it's wide open.
Right.
Yeah, unaccompanied children caught in the border became wards of the state and become the responsibility of the Department of Health and Human Resources. Right there. That makes it legal for them to be there because then they're wards of the court. The Nogales warehouse was expected to receive several hundred more children over the weekend. However, some of those arrivals were delayed. A consular official from Honduras who visited the site last week described appalling conditions, including children sleeping in plastic containers without having showered in 10 days. With portable showers, restrooms, and mattresses arriving at the weekend, a diplomat from El Salvador who visited the warehouse said the conditions were not the best, but they are improving. So we got officials coming from other countries telling us how to treat their citizens when they get in our country.
Talk about insult to injury. I mean, what the hell is going on with that?
Yeah. And okay, it goes on. While at the shelter in Nogales, children will be given medical screening and vaccination. Some will be reunited with family members already in the country, while others will be sent on to more organized shelters. Whoa, so their parents are here, and now they're coming over, and we're going to deliver the kids to the illegal parents. This is getting crazier by the minute.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, and it's not like everyone thinks, it's just Mexicans coming over. Look at how many countries are sending their kids to us.
Yeah. Oh, my God. All right, keep going.
That was the end of that one.
What was that called?
This one was U.S. struggles with surge in illegal immigrant children. This is from U.S. Politics and Policy. So your article was a different one. Maybe it has some...
Yes, it was a different one. But that, I mean, still, there's all of this. There's a ton of them here, in fact.
I'd like to find the one that explains what executive order is the cause of this.
Maybe I will read this other one, and maybe try and find that if possible. Let's see. There's one here. It says feds drop plane loads of illegals into El Paso. Let's read that one. Planes carrying 130 undocumented immigrants land in El Paso. 2 planes carrying undocumented families apprehended in South Texas arrived in El Paso Saturday, officials said. Romero Condiro, spokesman for the Border Patrol El Paso sector, said 2 flights carrying 130 people landed in El Paso. He said the immigrants would be processed at different locations in the El Paso sector. Monsignor Ruto Buenales, pastor of St. Pius Parish in El Paso, said the immigrants arrived in the morning. One immigrant passed through El Paso on a bus from Phoenix. Okay. Ruben Garcia is trying to bring together people from the community to respond to this urgent need, Buenales said. Garcia is the executive director of Annunciation House, which helps undocumented immigrants in El Paso. Annunciation House is planning a news conference Monday to discuss how it plans to keep the undocumented families who let's see. I'm sorry. How it plans to help the undocumented families who will be released from immigration processing centers and transferred to El Paso. Garcia refused to provide any details about numbers and the scale of their efforts. He said he needed time to organize a prompt and effective response. Garcia added that the information the immigration officials would be dropping off undocumented families at the downtown Greyhound station was incorrect. Immigration is looking at sending some people to El Paso. In other words, I can't tell you what immigration is planning to do or not to do. We know that we are going to respond, he said. Buenalis said that it would collect cots, food, and money for the immigrant families who will arrive in El Paso and then travel elsewhere. The immigrants released in the U.S., including those in El Paso, will have to report to immigration officials within 15 days as directed by federal authorities, the Associated Press reported. Immigrants apprehended crossing the border in South Texas will be flown to El Paso so Border Patrol can assist with processing. No, is that in the Border Patrol's job description? Is assist in freaking processing these people? The vast majority of individuals transferred family units from Central America and Mexico with children, an El Paso official said. On Saturday, Maria, who preferred not to give her last name and the names of her two daughters, stopped at the El Paso Greyhound station downtown. Maria is Guatemalan, a Guatemalan undocumented immigrant. She said she was too nervous to remember dates and details of how and where she was detained. She added she was on her way to Tennessee to reunite with her sister. Shit. Oh my God, people. Maria said that before being released from immigration custody, immigration officials communicated with her sister to arrange travel plans to Tennessee. So they're going to pay these people to go be with their families. They're going to pay for their freaking bus tickets, people.
Right.
Immigration told me, you are free, you can leave, Maria said. She added that she left Guatemala on May 25th and that she was arrested on Thursday. Maria, who said she did not have any money for food for family, she was found in the desert, and that she was still nervous about traveling. I'm a little scared, Maria said in Spanish. Now we are here without money, she said. Maria said she is supposed to meet with immigration officials July 8th. Luis Carlos Lopez maybe reached it, blah, 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 blah. That's who wrote the article. So that's crazy, man. They are just allowing them to. They're allowing them just to come on in and shit. The Border Patrol's even going to help us with processing now. That what the hell kind of freaking executive order this son of a bitch write?
Well, it said he continued just a few months before the last election, the president illegally and unconstitutionally granted amnesty to some 800,000 people illegally. If the president wants to change federal immigration laws, the Constitution lays out a way to do it. But, of course, our president doesn't go by the Constitution. He finds it too cumbersome. One of the consequences we're seeing on the border is humanitarian crisis that is direct consequences of Obama's lawlessness. And plus, didn't they release a whole bunch of illegals that were in prison, criminals?
Yes. Yep, they did that too.
And they just let them loose out into the public. They didn't deport them.
No, they just said, you're free. So, yeah, this, in the article that I read, they were, let me get back to that. They were starting to use encampments. let's see, it said they're not able to cope with the volume of children crossing the border with their parents. Immigration authorities have had to find emergency solutions such as housing thousands in a San Antonio Air Force Base, a California Navy base, and a makeshift quote-unquote detention center in Nogales, Arizona. So they're starting to open their FEMA camps and putting all of these overflow of illegals into these camps. It's exactly what I think has been said for years, that they were going to start putting illegals into these FEMA camps that they've got all ready and waiting all across the country.
You know, I mean, what they bring? There aren't enough people to fill their encampments, so they're bringing in illegals.
Apparently, apparently so. They've got to figure out how to process all these people.
Well, look, 2 planes carrying undocumented families apprehended in South Texas arrived in El Paso Saturday, officials said.
Dude, I just read that.
Oh, okay.
I just read that whole article.
Okay, I was trying to find this other one, but okay.
No, I totally just read that. Didn't you? That's funny. That's all right. Okay. Let's see. The borders are open now. You know what I mean? They're streaming in, and I don't. Man, it's this. They're pulling the trigger on all of this at once, just like I've been saying like this whole time. It's multifaceted. They're implementing all of these policies they've been wanting to implement in order to subjugate us, which is exactly what's going on.
Look at this one. Youth facing deportation to be given legal counsel. The Obama administration said Friday that it was starting a program to provide lawyers for children facing deportation as it scrambles to deal with the soaring number of unaccompanied minors illegally crossing the border from Mexico. Under the plan, the federal government will issue $2 million in grants to enroll about 100 lawyers and paralegals to represent immigrant children making their way through the immigration court system.
Oh my God, where the hell are we coming up with that $2 million?
Yeah, get this, we're taking a historic step to strengthen our justice system and protect the rights of most vulnerable members of society. Attorney General Criminal Eric H. Holder Jr. said in a statement, how we treat those in need, particularly young people who must appear in immigration proceedings, many of whom are fleeing violence, persecution, abuse, or trafficking, goes to the core of who we are as a nation. Excuse me, how many of our children are out on the streets right now because they've lost their homes, they've lost their job, their parents have lost their jobs, but we don't care, we don't do nothing for them.
Of course not. This is whole...
This is disgusting.
Yes, and it should piss everybody off because, yeah, they're not gonna, they're just gonna provide them with lawyers, and then soon we're gonna find out that they're gonna provide them with housing, and of course, doctor care. Yep.
While our kids are out on the streets, homeless, without food, without shelter, we're gonna provide all this for illegals.
Well, see, this is exactly what the plan is, the game plan. The overall big picture is to get us all fighting each other. This is the way they're attacking the veterans. This is the way they're creating division between Americans and undocumented illegals, right? This is the way they create the friction, is because all these people that don't belong here are going to get all the red carpet and get all the stuff, while the people who are here organically, U.S. citizens will be like starving in the streets. And you know what I mean? This is how they're creating the division. So this whole thing is
I don't see no division. I say send them back to their parents and then have them come over here legally and take care of our kids that are out without no food. Or they say that the accommodations are just horrific there for them. Well, why don't you go down on in the streets where there's so many homeless living, American citizen homeless children?
Right. Well, this is the argument that they're creating. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But I think everyone would be for.
I agree with you that that's exactly what should be done. However, in the bigger picture, this is all by design. This is all meant to create these arguments that we're having. Like, send them all back. We don't want, let's take care of our own. Blah, 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 blah. I agree with that, but I'm saying it's part of the designed argument. It's part of the created crisis. And here we go. We now this is all being put in our laps, and it's just going to grow and grow and exponentially.
Wow.
And you're not going to be able to set one side or the other down with this issue and calmly explain to them the logical progression from point A to point B and how this has all come to be. You're not going to get people to sit and listen to that from either side, like an undocumented immigrant. You're not going to get them to sit there and go, hey, look, you're being used as a tool, dude. Don't you understand that? And
why doesn't anyone in Congress bring up
this? Americans are pissed off that they're not going to listen to like anything else. That this is all by design, dude. They're just wanting to kill that undocumented illegal. You know what I mean? And get them the hell out of the freaking country. So I don't know, the dialogue here. I think we've missed our opportunity to. I don't know. Obama's just doing whatever the hell he wants.
And nobody's trying to stop him.
Whatever the hell he wants, and it's just going to create more and more crisis. And it's gonna be out of hand, and that's what they want. They want this whole thing to get out of hand. They want. They want us they want a civil war here.
And you know what's funny? Look who's fighting, yelling about this the most. It's Cruz, okay? I agree with a lot of what Cruz says, but you know what? There's one thing here that they are trying to set as precedents, and everybody should take notice. Cruz is not even an American citizen.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, not only is he, he's a senator, which, I'm sorry, but you have to be some form of an American citizen.
He's a dual citizen,
but of Cuba and of Canada. Not of the United States.
Well, then how the hell did he get elected?
Good question. How did President Obama get into office? And it is completely proven. His father was a citizen of Cuba. When you're born, you take on your father's citizenship. So and he was born to a U.S. citizen, his mother, but she was in Canada at the time, which makes him a Canadian citizen. And upon birth, if you're a United States citizen and you have your child out of the country, there's steps to take right after birth, which makes them a natural-born citizen since you are. But it wasn't done. So the man he has dual citizenship, and that's of Canada and of Cuba.
Are you, reading this from somewhere?
I have wait, I hope I have the article and didn't get rid of it, but I'll find it. But, they broke it all down, and they went through the records, and they cannot find anywhere that his mother got him the citizenship of the USA.
I haven't heard all that, but
I'll find the article and I'll post it in chat. I put it up. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I put it on my Facebook the weekend when I read it. But yeah, and they break it down, and it's true. Just like Obama's father was a British citizen when he was born, so that made him a British citizen, and that they break it down, and we know that Obama is. But look, this is setting a precedence. This guy's a senator,
right?
And everybody's listening to him, but nobody's bringing this up, and it's been researched and proven. So if he runs for president and he gets in there, then what? Because you know they're not going to bring this up in mainstream
Well,
about
then somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger can take over
There
and
you
like
go.
turn the country into a fascist state, which it already
There you
is.
go.
But
Yep.
he has like grandiose, like nasty plans for the U.S. That guy wants to be a dictator. He said
And
it.
the whole time he was governor, he had a whole agency working on doing nothing else but changing the law that you didn't have to be a natural born citizen.
Yeah, he wants to be a dictator big time.
And this is opening the door for anyone to be president of this country, because it doesn't seem that the committee that's supposed to check these things before they go into office stopped doing that years ago. They just stopped,
Right.
you know, making them show proof that they're a citizen to run for the highest position in this country. It's, you know.
There's a lot of senators and congressmen that are dual citizens of other countries. And like we were saying that, I think on Saturday.
Well, that's why you have to, in order to run for president, you have to be a natural born citizen, which means both your parents are United States citizens and you're born on U.S. soil. So there's no conflict of interest there. You can't have dual citizenships and be president of this country if they go by the Constitution.
If they go by. That doesn't seem
And
like...
they don't have to prove it. They stopped making them prove it. I forget what year, but it was quite a long time ago. They stopped making the candidates running for president to verify their legality to run.
Yeah.
That's how Obama got in. No one asked, hey, where's your birth certificate?
Wow. That's right. I mean, they had to forge one when people finally started to ask for that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, what is his name? Chris Hedges. He's been on it from day one. And he's also the one, I believe, I'll have to find my article, but he's also the one that ran down all the, and they got all the documents and everything that shows, his citizenship. So how did he become a senator? Nobody asked.
Right. That's right.
And they got a hold of Cruz and sent them the documentation and everything. He has not got back to them.
It's crazy because, I don't know, it just reminds me of, like, if you're filling out some census form and you can put whatever you want on those things, if you're...
With no proof.
Yeah, with no proof. You could just say you're Caucasian. You know what I mean?
You say you have 20 kids when you have one.
Right, like a driver's license. You can say, like, especially I think out in California, you can say if you're a female, you can say you're a male.
Yeah.
Right? And then, it's so. It's so. Oh, look, okay, we'll accept that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's I don't know,
You
man.
know what's weird is, like, Cruz is very popular with a lot of people, and and then if he does get to be president, you know what they're going to come back with? Well, the people decided. So what if you were given false information and stuff? But still, to have another president that is not a citizen of the United States is outrageous. We are in deep, deep, deep trouble.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you said, they are setting the precedents for it.
Yeah, and I'll send you the article, and they have the documented proof and everything, and they are still searching the records to find any proof of citizenship.
Did you find it?
I'm looking now.
I see.
But it just blew my mind when I read that.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them in there. I mean, Rahm Emanuel has dual citizenship with Israel.
Yeah,
and he's the mayor of Chicago. I mean, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, you got me. I don't.
It's not being run by U.S. anymore. U.S. Americans, it's for sure.
Yeah, anyone.
All foreign banks. It's all foreign run. Everything.
Yeah.
All the corporations are foreign run. The banks are foreign run. The obviously the government's foreign run.
Mm-hmm.
All the way down.
Yep.
It's a problem. It's a big.
It's a big problem.
And it's just like I said, like on Saturday, And me and Chuck were talking about this, I believe. Or no. It was Friday, and I think Hammy had called in. It was Thursday. Remember that? And we were on, and Hammy called, and we were talking about all this.
The immigration.
That's what it was. Yeah, the immigration thing. So, and I had stated that they're doing the same kind of crap over in Europe with the Muslim populations from Africa. They're streaming into European countries like Sweden and Denmark and all that stuff, and causing just as much havoc as people from South America and Mexico are causing here. And it's all for the same reasons. It's to destabilize. They want to destabilize everything. They want to destabilize the world by doing this. And then they're doing a great job of it. They're destabilizing the Ukraine. They're freaking destabilizing Asia. They're freaking destabilizing America, North America. It's destabilization across the entire planet. They're pulling the trigger on that right now. So I mean, and it's, and they're doing it from a multifaceted way, and I think somebody up there has decided to push the go button on everything. So here we go, people. Fasten your seat belts.
Yeah,
I'm for a wild ride.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh,
yeah. Okay,
post it in the chat room if you would.
I will. Oh wait, I don't have the chat room open on this computer. I have it open on the other one, but I will.
That's okay.
It says, "Is Ted Cruz a natural-born citizen eligible to serve as president?" Sarah Helene Duggins from the Catholic University of America looks at potential foreign-born presidential candidates like Ted Cruz and a possible emerging consensus among scholars about their eligibility for the White House. The 2016 presidential election is more than 3 years away, but potential candidates and their supporters are already contemplating the next campaign. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, now well known for his role in recent federal shutdown, and California's celebrity governor Arnold Schwarzenegger are among those whose names are circulating, but neither Cruz nor Schwarzenegger was born in the United States, and the Constitution provides that no person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to run for office. For Cruz, Schwarzenegger, and a number of other potential candidates, the natural-born citizenship clause raises a critical question. Is anyone born outside the United States constitutionally eligible to serve as president? Senator John McCain, I hate saying that name, but who was born in the Panama Canal faced the same question. But with him, he was born, his folks were in the military. Now that's a whole different thing. If you're, both your parents are Americans and say they're ambassadors and they're over in another country when you're born, you are still a natural born citizen. That is the only time you can be born off this land, off the land, and be a natural-born citizen. It's military or something like diplomatic. Okay. Let me see now. I lost my place. The purport concerns about President Obama's constitutional qualification led birthers to file lawsuits challenging his natural-born credentials on the basis of a variety of far-fetched, look at this, far-fetched theories. When this is right in the Constitution, there's only 3 things that you have to, add up to when you want to run for president. That's natural-born citizen, 35 years of age, and have been in the country for the last 14 years. So how can they say that this is, what did I say? On far-fetched theories. I mean, it's in black and white in the Constitution. The Constitution does not define the term natural-born citizen. Even so, Governor Schwarzenegger is clearly out of the running, given that he was born in Austria to Austrian parents. There is no basis for arguing that he is a natural-born citizen of the United States. For Senator Cruz, who was born in Calgary, Alberta, to an American mother and a Cuban father, the question is more complicated. There is a strong argument that anyone who acquires United States citizenship at birth, whether by virtue of the Fourth Amendment or by operation of federal statute, qualifies as natural born. The Supreme Court, however, has never ruled on the meaning of natural born citizenship requirement. In the absence of a definition, Supreme Court ruling, or a constitutional amendment, the perimeters of the clause remain uncertain. Now that's crazy. Okay. The origins of natural born citizenship clause date back to a letter John Jay, who later authored several of the Federalist Papers and served as our first Chief Justice, wrote to George Washington when president of the Constitutional Convention on July 25th, 1787, at the time as Justice Joseph Story later explained in his influential commentaries on the Constitution. Many of the framers worried about ambiguous foreigners who might otherwise be intriguing for office. Permit me to hint, whether it would not be wise and seasonable to provide a strong check to the admission of foreigners into administration of our national government, and declare expressly that the Commander-in-Chief of the American Army shall not be given to nor devolve on any but a natural-born citizen. Now, to me, that is clear that they meant a natural-born to be born of parents that were both citizens of this country.
Right.
They say right there, that ambiguous foreigners who might otherwise be trying for the office. It is to stop that. So, I don't know why the Supreme, well, besides the fact that they're crooked as hell, why they are having such a hard time interpreting this.
Right. It's stated very clear. Jennifer Granholm, our last governor, was born in Canada. Mm-hmm. We had a Canuck for a freaking governor.
But did she have U.S. citizenship, though?
A dual citizenship, I believe, right. Yeah.
Okay, now that, I don't know if you can be, me in Congress and have dual. I guess you can. There are quite a few. But to be commander-in-chief, this is a whole different ballgame. You have to be a natural born. And every definition I've found that is natural born means both parents have to be U.S. citizens, and you have to be born in this country, and you are a natural born. Naturalized is like what Cruz would be if his mother had gone through the procedure of making him an American citizen.
Right.
They can't find no record of that anywhere.
Okay, so then he's not eligible, and that's the end of the discussion, right? Really? That's it.
Yeah, and they've even sent him the documents they have gone through and searched. They have a whole, research committee, and they are going through, and they've been doing it. Ever since he was thinking about becoming president or running, they have been looking, and they still have not found proof. They're asking if anyone can find any proof that he is a natural-born citizen to please send it to them. And they've written to Cruz, and he has not responded.
Well, see, here's the problem I've got with it. If he, touts himself as such a constitutional toting Tea Party guy, and he, still tries to run for president, then that just shows you right there that he's not one to follow the laws either. So he can piss off as far as I'm concerned if he continues to push the subject without showing documentation that's not forged.
Well, no one's asking him to. That's the big thing. This committee, they have sent him, the documents and everything, and asked him if he could send them documents proving he was an American citizen. And he's not.
Asked him, right? You just read that.
Uh-huh. But, okay, now go on. While
go ahead.
It is possible to trace the origins of natural-born citizenship clause, it is harder to determine its intended scope. Who did the framers mean to exclude from the presidency by this language? The Naturalization Act of 1790. probably constitutes the most significant evidence available. Congress enacted this legislation just 3 years after the drafting of the Constitution, and many of those who voted on it had participated in the Constitutional Convention. The act provided that children of citizens of the United States that may be born beyond the sea or out of the limits of the United States shall be considered as natural-born citizens. So, as it said there, citizens, both parents are United States citizens. That is the big basis of it. And it says even if you're born out of the country, like his mother's a citizen, but his father was a citizen of Cuba. So that eliminates him as being a natural-born citizen, as far as I can see.
Right. He's ineligible.
Yeah.
Period.
Or it should at least be brought up to people before they go off voting.
Well, do we even know that he has, like, started an exploratory committee for president? Do we know this?
I don't know if he has or not, but I know he's intending on running. He's already stated that a few times.
Okay.
But
so has started an exploratory committee. Is that? I don't know either that question either way. I'm not sure. If he has,
but if he does, I mean, he should be ready to prove this. But then Obama made it all the way through without having one word said about it.
He didn't. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's there now. He's been there.
And then when it was brought up, the Supreme Court said, well, the people have voted. That was their answer. It didn't go any further.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. It goes on here. There is no record of discussion of the term natural-born citizen, but it is reasonable to conclude that the drafters believe that foreign-born children of American parents, and it says parents, who acquire citizenship at birth could and should be deemed natural-born citizens. Now, who acquires citizenship at birth? Now, I'm wondering if that's the... Wait, let me see. Although subsequent naturalization acts dropped the natural-born language, members of later Congress proposed many bills and resolutions designed to clarify, limit, or eliminate natural-born citizenship clause. None succeeded. In April 2008, however, amid challenges to Senator McCain's eligibility to serve as president, and this is where that comes in. He was born to American citizens, both of them, out of the country. And it says, this, as president, eligibility to serve as president, the senator passed a resolution declaring that John Sidney McCain III is a natural-born citizen under Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution of the United States. The resolution, co-sponsored by a number of McCain's Senate colleagues, including rival presidential hopefuls Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, imagine that, undoubtedly offered Senator McCain some comfort, but it had no real constitutional significance. Challenges to presidential qualifications are not new. In 1964, it arose to the natural-born credentials of Republican Barry Goldwater because he was born in Arizona prior to statehood. In 1968, legal actions were threatened against former Michigan Governor Romney, who was born in American parents in Mexico when he sought Republican nomination. So really, there's precedents there. They have both run for president, and they're saying as long as both parents are American citizens. It keeps going back to that. That is not disputed in any of this. So... yeah, this should be looked at. Everyone should do as much research on this as they can to not allow another non-American citizen to become president, because if he does and it comes out, then who's going to be president next? Some foreigner that just come over here and run?
Freaking Arnie.
Yeah, or any Mexican cartel that could come over and buy off people.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be it too.
This has far-reaching,
implications. Yes.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, with all the controversy around Obama, and they never really did state anywhere that he was eligible, we should make damn sure the next person who runs proves that he is a natural born citizen, that he has the papers unfraudulently made to prove that he is a natural born citizen, that both his parents have to be American citizens.
Oh man, yeah, it's obvious. I mean, it seems like it's sort of, I don't know.
I don't know. Everywhere I've read,
I feel like I'm against Ted Cruz if he's going to pursue this and can't come up with his proper documentation.
Right, it's like when they asked Obama. They kept asking him and asking him and asking him, and he kept not responding until finally he put up a fraudulent one. Well, we need to ask Senator Cruz. We need to get a hold of people in Texas and have them ask Senator Cruz, if he's going to run for president, prove that you are a United States citizen, a natural born, with both parents being American citizens, which he cannot because his father is Cuban.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, he really, legally, I don't think he can be senator, although he is, but I don't think legally he can be.
I mean, this is like I said, it's, they're not even following their own freaking laws here, so, I don't know. It's they're definitely setting the stage for foreign occupation.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like to me.
Look, that's what I see happening.
Yep.
So people, I don't know, especially people in Texas. Now he's senator in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people of Texas really should be asking the question: is he legally their senator? And if he's not, anything he has done there is null and void, good or bad.
Right.
So and all this connects. It really does. Letting all these illegals in. I mean, what's the next step?
Well, the next step is complete freaking fascistic despotism.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's just.
Well, they got to set the precedence somehow, and they're. It looks to me like they're trying to use Ted Cruz to infiltrate the Tea Party and spout off the rhetoric that comes therein with the Tea Party and try to act like he's like all constitutional and stuff, and then he probably doesn't really have a chance in hell of getting elected unless they mess with the electronic voting machines and he's put there on purpose. But this just seems to me like just the very pressing of the issue that he can't produce his documents and he's going ahead with his presidential race. Just screams
just
to
like
me.
Obama.
It
just
screams
like
to me that this guy is not playing in our interest.
Mm-hmm. And then I mean, really, if he's so for being for the Constitution and brings this up so much, and then for him not to be a citizen even, and he's got to know that he's not really eligible to be senator, didn't you think?
Right. That's yeah, he should know. I mean, if he's so concerned with constitutional freaking issues, I mean, yeah, he should know this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no, I mean, and not only that, if he says Obama is his big enemy, then he should understand about the birth certificate issues that has plagued Obama's entire presidency. Yeah, he knows what's going on, believe me.
It would be interesting to see if he has brought up President Obama's citizenship.
Right.
And any of his speeches and stuff, I think.
Well, yeah. So he's pretty much shooting himself in the foot, if you ask me, Ted Cruz is. But so now we've only got 10 more minutes.
Okay, well, I'm going to post this. I have it on my Facebook page. I'm going to post this in chat, and anyone can go in and read. Because there was a lot more to it, but we're going to run out.
Oh, all right. Well, no, I mean, keep going. We've got 10 minutes. If there's, I thought it was over. You were done with it.
Okay, let me see. Let me get back there.
Sorry about that.
Well, that's okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Permit Washington. Okay. Okay, and then we read the part about McCain, why he was a natural born, because both his parents were. Yeah. Okay, well, it is possible to trace the origins of natural born citizenship. Oh, wait, I read that. Okay. There is no record of discussion of the term natural born citizen, but it is reasonable to conclude that the drafters believe that foreign-born children of American parents who acquired citizenship at birth could and should be deemed natural-born citizens, although subsequent naturalization acts dropped the natural-born language. Members of later Congress proposed many bills and resolutions designed to clarify, limit, or eliminate natural-born citizenship clause. None succeeded. Let's see, and then it went into the McCains. Okay, I've already read that part. Here we go. That was Goldwater. I read that. Despite the shadow that lawsuits may cast over a presidential bid, the obstacles to successful litigate of natural-born citizenship challenges are formidable. Formidable. These matters raise a wide array of judicialability concerns. Standing issues led to the dismissal of lawsuits filed in federal courts in New Hampshire and California challenging Senator McCain's natural-born status in 2008, as well as to dismiss claims brought by a Guyana-born naturalized citizen who argued that the Fifth and Fourth Amendments effectively repealed the natural-born citizenship clause. Standing is not the only obstacle to a justification of natural-born citizen issues. Claims the candidate lacks the requisite natural-born citizenship credentials are unlikely to ripen until a nominee is chosen or perhaps even elected, and federal courts may be reluctant to divulge into the merits of the challenge to a candidate's natural-born citizenship status on political question grounds. So what they're saying here is no one's going to question him until he has legally declared that he's a
candidate. That's why.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And I thought he had. And then they go, even if they've been elected, they probably wouldn't challenge it on a political question grounds. My question is, why do we even allow it to go that far?
Right. Well, the rules of, you have to have an exploratory committee.
And you have to have standing.
And what happens during that exploratory committee is these very questions have to be addressed and answered.
Right, and then I don't know why they can't do it now with Cruz, because he's a senator. And according to what I've read so far, he's not even eligible to be a senator.
I don't know about those rules. I can't say.
Well, I mean, I think you have to be a United States citizen, even if it's dual citizen, to be a senator. I mean, right now he is a foreigner, as far as I can see. He's not even a U.S. citizen. And why wouldn't he respond to these things that they've sent to him? They've sent 2 or 3 registered letters to him, and he still hasn't responded. Now, why wouldn't he just show his citizenship?
Right.
I mean, this is even worse than Obama, because, people say that, he was born in Hawaii, and it really hasn't been proven or disproven completely. But here, there's no question about it. And then, too, with Obama, there's no question about it. His father was a British citizen when he was born.
I thought
and he was born in
African.
another country.
I thought it was
Well, yeah, but it was Africa then was under British, rule or whatever it is called.
Mm-hmm.
But and it is the same situation, really. His father was a British citizen. His mother was a U.S. citizen. But if he was born in Kenya, unless they went through the form of making him a U.S. citizen, he wasn't.
Right.
So, there's a lot to people, if you can find any more on this, please,
There's still a lot more to that article.
Oh boy, yeah, there is. It goes quite a bit more. There's at least, oh wait, no, okay. No, there isn't that much more.
Okay.
What can we expect if Senator Cruz or another similarly situated candidate runs for president in 2016? Undoubtedly, the controversy will continue with passionate advocates on both sides of the issue. A scholarly consensus is emerging, however, that anyone who acquires citizenship at birth is natural born for purposes of Article 2. This consensus rests on firm foundations. First, given Jay's letter and the language of the 1790 Naturalization Act, it seems evident that the framers were worried about foreign princesses, not children born in American citizens, living abroad. Second, the 14-year residency requirement, Article 2, also imposes as a president prerequisite ensures that regardless of their place of birth, would-be presidents must spend a significant time living in the United States before they can run for office. Finally, the natural-born citizenship clause is both an anomaly and an anachronism.
Anachronism.
There you go.
Anomaly and an anachronism.
Right. The way in which the clause differentiates among United States citizens is contrary to the overall spirit of the Constitution. The risk that a foreign nobility will infiltrate our government is long past, and place of birth is a poor surrogate for loyalty to one's homeland in our increasingly mobile society and our ever more interconnected world. The best solution would be to amend the Constitution, as many legislators on both sides of the aisle have proposed over the years. In the absence of an amendment, the clause should be narrowly interpreted. Now,
screw that.
Yeah, I know that
want another con to rewrite the whole damn Constitution. That's another excuse to do that.
Right, what they're saying there is anyone in the world should be able to become our president.
Yeah, forget that. Well, we are out of time. Wow. Completely out of time right now. So, we'll have to pick this up tomorrow maybe, or go on to something else. But everybody have a good Monday. Stay tuned to UCY.TV for... at 1 o'clock, we got The Edge with John Stokes, and then Jack Blood comes on after him. And then at 8 o'clock tonight's Boiler Room Radio with Jim Funky. Hopefully he'll be around to be doing that. We send him our wishes and our prayers. Then we got at 9, Brandon Turbeville. And then we've got Anti-Media Radio with Nick Burnaby at 11. Stay tuned, and have a great day, everyone.
Good job, lady. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.